Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip podcast number 14. I'm Mark.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Sean. Welcome along. No Joe this time, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending. Due to space issues, we get to have a little bit of extra sofa space. Anybody know what he's up to? Why he can't make it?
Not a clue.
No,
I'm guessing he hasn't done his homework, so he's hiding.
I was going to make up some excuse about him, I don't know, having like a sex change or something.
Becoming Josephine.
Yeah. I'm Mark, I'm Sean, I'm Chad, and I'm Josephine.
Don't say that.
So, last week we did the whole homework thing. Now, it turns out you two guys, Mark and Chad, both had the same homework, which was to watch the documentary, not sure if it's a faux documentary, Catfish. Joe was going to watch a movie called Only Lovers Left Alive.
That's what it was.
So we'll have to wait till next week for him to give his review on that, if he watches it. And I had to watch Death Note Part 2, the last name. But I guess as you guys watch the same movie, we'll let you guys open up and...
One thing I wanted to ask, because you asked Joe his take on it and he said he thought it was true.
Right.
What did you think about that?
I don't know. I think it was like true, but I think certain elements might have been over-exaggerated.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to know because it was shot very, very documentary style. So there weren't ever shots and they sort of think, well, they've got really nice perspective on that, or the framing's really good on that, or it looks really nice. It's kind of like everything looks as it is. Some guys have got a random flip camera, or it's on the dashboard, or it's kind of random.
It's how you would imagine a student documentary to be. Yeah, it wasn't professional on any sort of level. I didn't think.
So that made me think it was definitely real. But then the outcome of the movie made me feel maybe it was a little bit set up, or maybe it was kind of pushed along. But documentaries are, not every documentary is as you see,
Yeah.
People that write documentaries don't normally go, right, I'm just going to film stuff, I'm going to put it in chronological order, and that's going to be the documentary. They go, right, how can I get a story out of this? There's a homeless guy and he's whacking off in the street. How do I make a story out of this? Okay, we'll go back, we'll find his
motive. Tea over myself then, I'll put it down.
We'll find motives, we'll have a story building up to it rather than just like, oh, we found this guy whacking off and then we speak to him and then he explains, we kind of make it more entertaining. That's what I kind of thought. But
So there was odd moments at the start. At the start initially I thought, nah, this is made up, it's fake. Because there was odd moments for me, it felt it was too intentionally trying to be crappy camera work. There was odd moments the camera was nice and steady and it was filming something that looked quite well framed, and then suddenly it cut to another camera and it went, oh, I'll go shaky and randomly zoom in and out and be a bit, and then it sort of forgot about doing that later on. It's like, oh, that felt a bit forced. It felt a bit like, oh, we better make it look mockumentary.
Yeah, well, I think the guys had like various different camera setups. I think there was sort of, one of them had like a flip cam, so that's always going to be sort of a bit...
But I don't think you'd film someone and go, oh, whilst they're talking, I'll quickly zoom in and spaz the camera
Have you
around
never used a camera like that before? I once went on a trip to Barcelona. I'd hate to think what that footage would look like. I went to Salvador Dali exhibit, and I can imagine I just zoomed in and out of the art pieces.
All right.
In, out. What do you think of this? In, out, in, out. So I think it's something that people would do, having the zoom
I don't know,
function.
because considering their job was kind of filming stuff and photography and that, you'd think they'd been a bit better at it.
Yeah,
so
probably.
there was that made me think a bit, I don't know. And the fact that the whole reason was just like, oh, look, you've got this, let's record everything. It's the equivalent of us when we had Caroline Williams email us. It's the equivalent of us going, oh, we've got an email from her. Let's record everything that now happens when we talk to her. It would seem a bit random to do that.
Yeah, well, maybe they had the idea beforehand because they tried to sort of set it up as we're just going to follow this guy around and then he gets the email and then they sort of, go on their little adventure or whatever, but...
Because the other bit, it was a bit coincidental. The bit that was a bit, anyway, that seemed a bit too coincidental was the whole getting his postcard back. So it just happened to still be in the post box of whoever's house it was, put it in.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's my postcard. I'm like, fucking hell, really? And you couldn't even see the mailbox because it was so dark outside. It was a bit...
I wasn't too sure about her reaction when they turned up. So like, when she admitted everything, it was kind of like, oh, would that have happened? Would that person be like, just shut the door in their face sort of thing and just close curtains?
Well,
and what kind of twat doesn't know a chicken lays eggs every fucking day? They didn't know that, really?
I don't remember that bit. But for those out there that's listening right now and haven't seen the movie Catfish, is what we're talking about. I don't think we mentioned the title, did we?
We didn't.
Catfish, it's sort of a documentary, and we're gonna spoil everything because there's quite a linear story, isn't there? And it starts off with these guys filming themselves, and they get an email and a picture sent to them by this young artist.
She's 6 or 8 or something like
that.
Yeah.
And then, spoiler alert, you go ahead in the movie and they try and find out more details about this girl, and it turns out it's been orchestrated by this one woman who's made about 5 or 6, maybe 7 or 8 different Facebook profiles.
The thing also, it was only 25 minutes into the movie when they kind of figured out, hang on, they're playing you along here, but they still went, oh well, let's go and pay him a visit. Really? I don't know. It seemed a bit... Would you spend all that time and money to go and visit these people?
Well, for the sake of...
Would we have done that?
For the sake of making a documentary, you probably would, though, wouldn't you? Otherwise, your documentary's going to be really...
And I think the fact the whole movie...
Would you just go, no, I would make a documentary about something else. We've got that much.
I think it'd be interesting to confront those people, because that sort of stuff does happen on a regular basis, doesn't it?
So I think they did it quite clever. Well, it either happened really cleverly, or they orchestrated it quite cleverly. That he had like a love interest in it, which made him want to carry on. Yeah. He's speaking to that girl, and which happened to be the old woman with the voice on or whatever. And it was kind of weird because he sort of fell in love, these long distances, kind of, people that fall in love on Facebook or, the internet or anything like that, and he becomes really attached to it, and it's a bit like, I can imagine you would want to carry on with it because now this has all happened and you think, I'll fall in love with this girl, this is going to be amazing, we're going to meet up, it's going to be, sparks are going to fly, and then...
He knew she'd lied to him about the music stuff, because she's been sending him these songs, and he finds out she's ripped them off YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's confronted her, and she's just lied to his face, going, "No, I didn't." And he knows that it's a lie, so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's who hasn't been on the internet and chatted to somebody, across the globe or across the country and dropped a few white lies, Back probably about 10.
Inclined to go see them.
Oh, right.
Even if I knew they'd been lying to me, I'd be inclined to go see them.
Might get laid.
Make the best out of a bad situation.
In fact, the best person in it for me was Vince, the dad.
Oh, did he?
He was one step away from being the trolley boy out of Hot Fuzz. It was like, so Vince, what do you think of this? Yarp. that was him.
Yeah, you got 2 slightly mentally retarded kids. Yarp. What do you think of it? Catfish.
Yarp.
I will admit, when they got to her house and they knocked on the door, my arsehole did clench up a little bit. I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going to happen? Who's it going to be, sort of thing. But then from that point onwards, it kind of lost.
It was kind of dissipated. I'd already felt at the start, I was like, no,
I already knew it wasn't good, but it's like, but what's going to happen when they find out they've been confronted? Are they going to freak out? Or...
Yeah, there was that. But I mean, you'd mentioned the other week, it sort of felt like it was building up to a conclusion, and then it didn't really have it, but you thought, yeah, fair enough. But I was kind of like, no, I need that conclusion. I need to what was I can't remember, I made some notes. It's like, I want to see the retarded kids go apeshit and start beating the shit out of people, or go on some crazy mongoloid bumming rampage or something like that. Not politically correct, but it would have been a damn good end to the film.
Yeah, but that's the thing, if it was a movie and they set up the whole thing and then it was a mockumentary style and then it just switched to a movie where it went twisted, then I could understand. And I was expecting it to do that, I was expecting this whole sort of, I go on it about it time after time, the whole Eli Roth thing, they kind of build up, it's kind of nonchalant, it's kind of kids having fun, getting drunk, and then shit happens and, gore, torture, death and all that sort of stuff. I thought as soon as they knocked on the door and went in the house, they was going to get captured and, they were going to get raped and murdered and tortured. And then that didn't happen and I was disappointed. But then I was like, actually, I'm not actually disappointed because I expected it to go that way and it didn't. Yeah. So it surpassed my expectations.
Because then for me, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It kind of ended in midway, and like you said, the Eli Roth thing, sorry, Chad. It kind of ended midway before it all kicked off, and you kind of like, oh, it's just finished.
Yeah, I kind of felt it missed the mark a little bit with me, because it seemed that maybe they were trying to make a profound sort of statement, some sort of social commentary about people's relationships over the internet. But I've seen, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Tall Hot Blonde. No. There's another similar documentary in the same sort of vein.
I think I've seen it in my queue. I've watched it. What to watch on Netflix.
It's a lot darker. They're interviewing a chap who's in prison for murder. This internet relationship went a bit sour. You should definitely check it out. I think it was that kind of dampened the feeling of this film for me, because I've already seen something like it.
Okay.
That I think did it better when I got to this. This felt a little bit too sweet.
Is that
nice.
a documentary or was that?
Yeah,
I think it was because they didn't get confrontational enough. Everyone just went, "We know you're lying," and they're like, "Oh, okay then." And everyone was just too nice about it.
Yeah, but it's a bit like
if
if you confront somebody that's so sort of genuinely, she was very sad, wasn't she? She was very somber. She's got this life where, she's with this husband who, like you said, is the trolley guy from Hot Fuzz, who just goes yarp and narp. And they've got he's got 2 children who are heavily disabled.
Carried on into the next day. As soon as she opened the door and they'd gone, "Hello, it's us. So, do you want to talk about this then?" They're not gone, "Hey, right, yeah, we'll have dinner with you," and then wait a whole day to then go, "Do you want to talk about it?" Surely that's the whole point, is to get them go like, "Right, I know you're bullshitting."
Yeah,
so
I just think that she was so sort of, obviously because she wasn't genuine, but she come across as like genuinely just lonely and just wanted to escape from her life because it was so dismal. She's got a husband who can't string a sentence together. She's got 2 stepkids who literally need like 24-hour care, and then she's got a little daughter, who seemed actually quite normal. And she just wanted to escape from her life. She wanted to be somebody else for a little while. And I think the guys making the documentary were a bit like, "I see where you're coming from. I do feel real sorry for you." And if they'd gone in and they lived in a lavish house and she was just playing prank on him, they'd have been like, "Oh, right, fuck you, because this is stupid. You strung us along." But it was like, "Oh, I feel really sorry for you."
Her paintings should have been her escapism, though, or at least go play fucking Warcraft or something. Just do something like that,
She's got something a bit more real, sort of.
Sort of.
She's got to paint paintings and pretend to be a
but why
little
not just
girl.
admit they're her paintings? Why pretend this whole weird story? I don't know.
People are weird. Let's just
true.
put it out there.
Yeah,
People are weird.
People are.
So, as an overall kind of rating, would you recommend it to people? Is it something you watch again?
It's not something I'd watch again.
I wouldn't watch it again, but I wouldn't say it's so bad that people shouldn't watch it. Give it a shot, but
it was it was something and nothing, wasn't it? Really?
It was something different, I guess. Just sit and just watch a regular movie, but ultimately didn't give a shit.
Yeah, would this spur you on to watch the TV show?
No.
I watched about 10 minutes of an episode of a TV show and I was a bit like, it kind of just feels like it's the movie again, but not as good. I watched one episode where this guy had fallen in love with this girl on Facebook, very similar, but she had put like pictures up of herself being quite thin and slender and hot, and they chatted for ages, and it's like, right, we're finally gonna have a meet up, and just randomly the camera crew was there, and the main guy from
Catfish.
he's in it, and he goes, "Oh, I'll go with you to as a first meet," and then she comes out of the house and she's quite a rotund lady who's not quite as attractive as the guy thought, and he was just like, "Oh, fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're a whale."
I think if you go on the internet and chat with a complete stranger and believe everything they tell you, you deserve what you get. Most young blonde women on the internet are old blokes.
My recommendation for this would be watch Tall Hot Blonde instead.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to get a better movie for it. Do yourself a favour though. If you're going to check it out, don't read any synopsis on it or anything, even on Netflix. Just watch it without really knowing too much about it, because if you're like me, you'll be like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
It's proper
Tall Hot
dark.
Blonde?
Tall Hot Blonde. It's all in one word, but
Yeah.
it's like spelled like a username, so it's TAL1L.
Oh, got it. Oh, okay. I'll have to look at it.
It's on Netflix. It's a full-on professional documentary though. It's not done by students or anything like that. They're interviewing the guy in prison. So
Right. So potential homework, unless we don't come up with something along the podcast. Speaking of homework, I guess I should probably talk about my homework. Can I admit something? I've been really busy.
You've not watched it?
I watched an hour and a half of it. I tried so badly. I've been doing some filming stuff. I've been working, had a busy weekend, been to a car boot.
All right. Okay.
I'll talk about that later on.
You've reminded me of something as well, saying about car boots.
Last night, after I edited a video together, so I've got another quick review coming out very shortly. I thought I'd get that done, and then I thought, all right, I'm going to have enough time to watch Death Note Part 2, and then I started falling asleep, so I was like, right, no, I can't do that because I won't be able to do it justice, so I put it on pause, woke up in the morning, you know, had sort of 20 minutes before work, so, you know, I played 20 minutes of that while I was getting ready, so I was kind of had an eye on that. And then I got home from work and I was going to sort of finish it off, but I didn't quite have enough time. Had to get my equipment ready and had to sort out some stuff.
So what you've seen of it so far, are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
It's still quite similar to the...
Yeah, it is very similar, but I think it's more different than the first movie, if that sounds... Like, the first movie seemed, right up until the end, it seemed like it was copying the anime shot for shot, you know, scene for scene, plot for plot. Whereas this one takes certain elements of it, and then it's taken a few liberties with a few things.
The movie doesn't have the friendship with them getting handcuffed together and things, does it? Or does it? I can't remember now. The Light and Elle get handcuffed together because Elle still doesn't trust Light.
I don't. If it does happen, I don't think I've quite got up to that bit. Right, okay. What I've got up to in the movie is obviously Elle is Kira. They've just announced that Misa, she's the second Kira, so they take her in, and she thinks she's been like captured by like a pervert or a super.
Oh, well, they've got her in the room and they're watching her. Yeah,
and then she relinquishes the Death Note,
so
and then she becomes a bit like, oh, what's going on? You know, let me out. And then Elle puts himself in because he's like, well, I might actually be Kira. I'm not quite sure. So they put him in, and then he says like a code word like "get rid of it" or whatever.
That's it.
And then his Shinigami relinquishes the Death Note. So then obviously it turns out that he's not, because it goes to another person, and that's like the part I'm up to.
Well, they're kind of like, hold on, the killings are still going on.
Yeah.
And they're in here. What's going on?
Is there a third Kira? Is there two? Is there one? You know.
Oh right, okay.
So I'm looking forward to the climax.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for you guys out there who want my opinion on it, you're gonna have to wait until next week. I will finish it, maybe tonight, depending on how much editing of the podcast that I do, but then I'll be able to give you guys...
to next week then?
Yes, unfortunately. I do apologise.
Shit, I've just realised I forgot my other thing that I've been promising to do for weeks and I left that at home.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. Never mind. We'll get another time.
So, I mentioned about car boots, and that seemed to spark something
No,
there.
I just remembered I got told yesterday by Glenn, who you all know, the one at Skylark has been taken over by other people, and their early bird opening time is not £6 now, it's £1 across the board. So it officially opens to the on-washed at 8:30, but if you want to turn up at 7, it's only £1.
Well, the thing is, that's for people that want to come in, that's not for people that want to do the stalls.
No, that's for people that get round early, and which is like, that's pretty good.
It is, but I went there yesterday and I got in there at 8 o'clock. Technically it opens up at 8:30 and I paid 40p. So for me to pay £1 is a bit like, I'm going to pay twice as much and then some, and you know...
It just depends if you really want to get in as people are setting up and how desperate you are to try and snag a bargain. But
that's the thing. And it's something I'm not quite happy about, but we'll have to wait and see, because I do go to
as
that
it was £6, that's a £5 off now.
Well, no, it's £6 to get a pitch.
No, I think it was anyway, getting on the early.
No, I think you just have to wait. Okay. That was the whole thing. You pay £6 if you wanted to get in there and sort of go, yeah, I've got a few things in the back I want to sell, pay £6 and then just walk around, and you know, that way you're being a bit cheeky. But the experiences I have, and myself, you and Joe actually went to a car boot once, didn't we? We went earlier than 8:30, and we actually only paid, I think it's 30p back then, and we got in sort of a little bit earlier, so I think...
Yeah, because we got one of the lighting rigs from there, didn't we?
Yeah, I think some of the hardcore booters probably pay £6 to get in early. Whereas I've only paid 30 or 40p, which means I'll have to now pay £1 or go a little bit later. Yeah. But we found that if you go before 8 o'clock, you beat all the traffic. So now it's like, do I save 60p and then go later on, but probably get stuck in, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of traffic and probably burn that in fuel anyway?
Or just park outside the booth and refuse to go in. That's right, I'm just going to wait here a bit.
I actually said that. I was like, right, I'm going to pull up to the booth and they'll go, right, that's £1. I go, no, I'm waiting here till 8:30 and I shall pay 40 or I think it's 50p now. I shall pay 50p because I don't want to go in early, but I want to go in early, but I don't want to pay enough money.
I'll pay 50p and I'm going to sit in my car and I'll wait. You can watch me if you like.
Yeah. So, anyway, it was a really good car boot this weekend, and really, really hot weather, which means there's a lot of booters out. They filled up the field, which was crazy. I think it took us about 2.5 hours to walk around the whole thing. Right. That's quite in-depth, that's not just kind of running up and every aisle or whatever, you kind of look at every stall and have a little look around, and it seemed like there was a lot of good DVDs about.
I was going to say, did you get yourself any bargains?
Yes. Most of the DVDs on car boots sort of go for about 50p a pound, don't they? I shall run through a list of DVDs. This is sort of like a joint thing that me and my girlfriend got, and I'll let you give one-word reviews of them,
Righto.
and I'll let you decide who bought it. School of Rock. Have you seen it?
You bought that one?
What?
It's alright. What it was?
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
I didn't mind that film.
I'd pay 50p for School of Rock.
Yeah, I think it was 50p or a pound. What else did we get?
Jack Black's on a hell of a lot worse.
We got a special edition of Fight Club for a pound.
Oh, that'd be
like
you.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't me. But I kind of heavily influenced the purchase there.
Alright.
What else?
Oh, yeah, you want a one-word review? Yeah, shit.
Battle Royale.
I'd like to think that was you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Children of Men.
D.
No, that was me.
That was it.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I've seen that.
I've not seen it. And
Is it Clive Owen?
Clive Owen, Michael Caine.
It's got an amazing one of those hell of long camera shots.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
really
it's
impressive.
From Alfonso Cuarón, who did Gravity,
But that's all I can remember about it. I
Those
remember being
known
quite
for his-
bored by the film.
known for his one shots and whatnot.
It
Seems
was-
like quite a cool concept.
It was an amazing shot.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on YouTube, so I haven't even seen the movie.
okay.
But I'm trying to think what else we got now.
But other than that, boring.
Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that's something that you'd like, then, right?
I've heard of it and gone,
I
nah.
watched it. Yeah, it's okay. Colin
Yeah.
Farrell's quite funny. Isn't it?
Yeah. I think. The Last King of Scotland.
You?
So I've heard that's quite good. I've not seen it.
I don't know nothing about it.
I heard it's
but-
supposed to be an amazing. It's James McAvoy.
Yeah,
and
that was the reason
I can't
we got
remember
it.
No, I forgot the big guy's name. Black fella who plays.
his name. Forrest?
It's not. No, it's not Forrest Whitaker, is it?
Yeah.
Michael Clark
Yeah.
Duncan.
No,
No.
he was dead by
Yeah.
then. Oh, it is Forrest Whitaker. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
With the wonky eye.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, so we probably paid about a maximum of like £4 or £5 for a good handful of DVDs, and
That's pretty good.
thought it was a good little haul, so that will keep us going for a little while.
Well, you can put all them on hold because I bought you Troll 2.
You've bought me a DVD to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I was hoping that I was going to get away earlier when I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can watch Tall Hot Blonde for my homework. And now you've just gone and completely ruined that, haven't you, Shad? You're like, right, no, you're not watching that.
Well, you might
you're
not-
watching Troll 2 as your
Well,
homework.
maybe you should do Tall Hot Blonde first because I think after Troll 2 you might not want to be friends with me anymore.
It might put you off movies forever.
You might do.
Yeah.
You
Just
might
turn-
need some weeks off for recovery.
Just turn up next week. Hello, welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Sean and I quit. And then just walk out the room. Just chuck everything on the floor. Sean, you forgot your camera. Sorry, you finish off the podcast.
That's not that bad. Jeez.
Well, they've made a documentary about how bad it is, so that tells you something. You've seen the documentary, haven't you?
I think I've seen some of the documentary because the documentary is called, best worst movie ever or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's pretty much renowned for being a complete dog shit movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the way
It's
you
got
guys were
cult
describing it, it's not the kind of dog shit movie that you sit there and giggle your ass off. It's a bit like, it's still a bit dog shit.
Odd bits will make you giggle your ass off, sort of, for how stupid it is, like the whole pissing on democracy.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, before we did start the podcast, it just goes on too long.
Yeah. It's atrocious acting and the story's incoherent and it makes no sense, full of plot holes, but it's like a car crash. You have to watch it, because it's so terrible.
I love watching car crashes.
It's the worst kind of car crash movie. It's a car crash where then like the medics have come up and took a baby out of the wreckage and then started rubbing it up and down the road just to finish it off. It's just like, oh, what
This
am I
one's a
watching?
goner. How can you tell? Just scraped his
Somewhat
face
of
along
an
the
accurate
road.
analogy.
It's just like, oh, why am I still watching this?
Speaking of analogies, this past week you posted your brand new
Oh,
video of Drive Hard, Mark Talk. What's the title?
With Mark.
Oh,
Instead
Drive
of
Hard with Mark.
Yeah.
And you used quite a genius analogy there of bacon sandwiches and dog poo and spunk.
My favourite analogy was about the getting the car chase. The better way to get what's a car chase, draw a picture of a car, stick it on the DVD case and throw it across the room.
Yeah, if you guys out there listening to the podcast want to know what we're talking about, click on the annotation that says ChapterSkip, which should be on there. That'll take you to our main ChapterSkip channel, and that is the channel that you posted that video. Yeah,
That's right,
Drive
yeah.
Hard with Mark. It's like a short sort of 2-minute video. You put some
2.5, 3 minutes.
amazing animation in there.
Amazing stop motion of
Stop motion.
seeing the moving images.
I was quite impressed with it. I was like, oh, he's got motion in it.
So when they moved out the DVD case, went back in again, I'm like, oh, I'll just cheap and use the same shots and just put it backwards. Like, I think I just lost the will at the end. It's like, it's taken me, when I started editing it, putting it together last Monday, and I never got it finished until Friday. Right. And I was like, I'm sick to death of copying and pasting these images and drawing little stick figures. Or it's like doing one of the old lady. So I made her a flowery dress and everything, but it just got a bit too much. And then I noticed today, I just give it another watch, and it's like, shit, there's a typo.
Is there?
Yeah, the bit where it's got me in a speech bubble.
Oh, yeah.
I think I
know you put fucking, F-U-C-K-E-N.
Oh, yeah, because I don't know if I
wasn't sure if that was like intentional.
But now there's a typo in me, I put the instead of it's there or something. I'm like, fuck.
Just adds to the crapness of the movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, the crapness of my animation.
See, I
had fun.
I think, give that a couple of months, you'll have honed in your style on, whatever with Mark. Is that going to be your like tagline now? Instead of Mark talks about, it's going to be, with Mark.
Yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, if I'm doing a review, it'll be with Mark, and then maybe something. If I do something like Fist of Jesus, I'll probably do a talks about, because that's just sitting and going, oh look, you should check this out. Speaking of which, it's only got 7 days left, and it's still only made 45% of its cash. So I'm very disappointed in everybody.
Yeah, for those who've listened before, we mentioned Fist of Jesus is a project from a couple of Spanish guys.
Yeah.
And we originally posted on their Kickstarter, we posted money to them on their Kickstarter page, which failed. So they went down the Indiegogo route, which, you said 45%.
Yeah,
so.
I think what's happened is because last time on Kickstarter there was a chap who pledged the $10,000 to be one of the apostles in the film.
Yeah.
That guy hasn't come back, which is like, oh shit, that'd be a huge chunk for him. So
maybe the guy pledged because he knew it wasn't gonna go.
Yeah, but why would you do that? I was kind of like, we had the big Euro win on the lottery. Well, not we didn't, but there was a huge.
I was gonna say, you didn't tell me about this.
There was a huge thing on the Euro Millions thing, and it was like, if I'd have won that, I'd have gone, here you go, here's the money, make the film.
Yeah.
But put me in it.
You want your name everywhere.
I'll be the extra apostle. Here's all the cash to finish it.
You want all like the names to come up, and then you get like the big movie stars that says "and featuring Mark from ChapterSkip."
The big hero shot.
Yeah, and you're in it for like 2 seconds.
Or hero reveal, so it pans from the feet up.
And you're just in the background on a fruit machine or something.
Oh no, not that again. Yeah.
Due to my unpreparedness, Mark, for those of you out there listening, won't know because I've done some amazing editing, but I didn't do. He's probably the shittest edit ever, but I don't know. I haven't done it yet. I can't go into the future. I don't have Kitty Pryde here, like holding my head, going, right, Sean, go into the future and do some amazing editing. I'm assuming that I've done some amazing editing, but like I said, I didn't really get around to watching Death Note, and turns out I didn't really get around to charging many of my batteries for the camera. So if this turns out short, we might be a little bit screwed, but we'll continue onwards, and if it just cuts off, you'll know why, because I'm a dick. Or we can speak really, really quickly and get through this really quickly. What do you fancy?
Well, carry on and hope for the best. Well, how much prep have you got?
I've got tons.
Okay. I've only got a couple more, so I'm not too bad.
Well, we've talked a lot about sort of superheroes and stuff like that, so we could probably skip over that. But
I'd like to talk about Jennifer Lawrence some more.
Would you?
Yeah.
What do you like about her?
She's just lovely, isn't she?
What about her is lovely? Is it that she's so down to earth and cool and kind of...
Yeah. Well, she's naked and painted blue.
I'm that.
Well, saying that, apparently now like Jennifer Lawrence is a big star, they didn't want to spend so much time having her in makeup and be like, you're 8 hours in blue makeup. Apparently this version of Mystique was like painted face and the rest was like a bodysuit. Yeah. Why they didn't think of that before and just painted every like last scale on. Hey?
Was it Rebecca Romaine or someone who was the first one?
Yeah, something like that.
I think someone just said to her, no, we can't do that. You're going to have to get naked and we're going to have to paint
Batteries flashing.
Yeah.
Because someone, in the effects department was a perv. No, you got to take your clothes off, love. Here's my paint.
And it has Ellen Page in it as well, so
yeah.
It's another bonus. Yeah.
I'm too old for this conversation.
She's old enough.
Yeah, but it make me sound creepy. I'm too old for this conversation.
Is there any old ladies in X-Men? I don't know.
Any old ladies? What?
What about Captain America, old Peggy Carter? Bet you were like, oh, get me some of Peggy. A bit of 90-year-old Peggy.
90-year-old. Now you've gone too far the other way.
Just really quickly, because we've got a battery flashing, apologies for probably cutting this short, but I just want to talk about this really quickly. Anybody fans of the rap group N.W.A?
Yeah.
Mark?
Take it or leave it.
Apparently they're making a movie, which I think is going to be badass.
Well,
Are they going to be in it?
Well, I've seen all of them, because...
Apparently Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. is playing Ice Cube, and then there's a couple other people playing Eazy and Dr. Dre, and apparently the movie's called Straight Outta Compton, which will pick up the story in the mid-80s, 6 years before the band disbanded after a decade before Eazy's death, and will chart its rise to Billboard success. So I think that'd be cool. We'll get to kind of a bit of in-depth knowledge about N.W.A and why they wanted to fuck the police. I don't know why they wanted to have sex with the police, but...
Fuck the popo.
So it's going to be a lot of kind of gangstering, probably a couple of drive-bys, pew, 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 shooting and stuff, and just generally just making some awesome gangster rap tunes.
That was the most British drive-by ever. Pew pew. Pew.
Come here, sir. Pew pew pew.
Blackguard.
Yeah, you're dead now. Piss off. I've got a whole bunch of Marvel news, but we could probably save that till next time. But have you ever thought it's way too late to try something new?
Depends what it is.
Well, I read this story. Read this story today. It's never too late because there's a woman who graduated from high school and she's 111.
What the fuck?
Yeah, apparently.
Maybe there are some things that it's too late for.
But yeah, is there any point when you're 111? I mean, granted, because when she was little, schools were temporarily shut down in 1918 because of a flu pandemic.
She hasn't been in school all that time.
Spent her life in school.
Yeah. Like 100 years in school.
Sorry, Ethel, you're being held back another year.
No, because obviously, there was a flu pandemic, and then the war happened and stuff. So she's a bit like.
Everyone else managed all right. Why couldn't she do it?
Well,
lazy bitch.
Well, Leela Burden received her degree the other day. 111 years old, and here's a quote from her saying, "I'm not old yet. I'm still a young lady." No, you're not. You're 111. But yeah, apparently she's still sharp for her age, and she graduated high school.
Was she out there at break time playing like tag,
playing
hopscotch? Yeah.
Ball and stick. What's that, Grandma?
Let's go do some handstands. Is that what girls do? I don't know. They used to in my day.
Behind the bike sheds.
Christians, come give Granny a king.
Old Agnes is tonguing Jimmy behind the bike shed, so I think he's giving her a finger. Well, you dirty old lady.
I think that's as good a place to end it as any. We apologise for the shortness of this podcast. I mean, I could sit here and chat for hours, but we literally don't have enough battery life. So, quick bit of homework. As you lovingly brought in a DVD for myself, Chud, I shall take that DVD and throw it away and go watch Tall Hot Blonde. I'll watch Troll 2.
Okay.
Mark, did you want to check out Tall Hot Blonde?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
So what can we give Chud to watch? I mean, it'd be a pleasure for you to go ahead and watch the last episode of Fargo, so I don't think we need to kind of make you do that.
No.
But if I'm going to watch a terrible movie, I think I'm going to...
I don't know what else we've discussed that would...
Maybe, I don't know, would you want to spend money on going to watch A Million Ways to Die in the West now that we've spoiled it and called it pretty shit?
Well, I forgot on Wednesday it's only a £5.
No,
Cool.
That could be an option, but I'm not going to make you pay money
No.
for it. Anything else that we talked about? Listen to some N.W.A and you have to bring me some quotes.
You want your own rap song ready for next week?
You've got to write a rap tune.
And it's got to be based on
I'm
us.
not rapping.
And it's got to be about the 111-year-old woman that graduated high school.
Alright, I'll pay
Shit,
£5
no
and go
fool,
watch
she
the shit
graduated
film.
school.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Go ahead and subscribe to our podcast channel. And also subscribe to our main ChapterSkip channel. There will be another quick review coming up very, very shortly. It may even be out by the time this podcast come out. I haven't gone into the future just yet. Don't have Kitty Pryde with me again. Unfortunately, it would be quite nice, not just for the future stuff, but yeah, subscribe to both channels. Head into the description and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And on behalf of ChapterSkip, I'm Sean.
I'm Chad.
And I'm still Mark.
And we'll catch you guys again next time.
Bye.